Greetings from Washington, D.C. This is Peter Thomas, the General Counsel of the NAAOP. Well, it's been some time since I've recorded a webcast on behalf of the association, and a lot's been taking place over the last several weeks. All you need to do is turn on a television set or read a newspaper, and you know how much turmoil and partisanship there is in Washington, D.C. Nonetheless, things are getting done. The aftermath of the election was essentially a new regime in the Senate. The Democrats take over and Chuck Schumer becomes the majority leader. Nancy Pelosi remains the Speaker of the House, although with a slimmer majority. And of course, the new president, President Biden, takes over the reins of the administrative and executive branch. Kamala Harris will be the deciding vote in the Senate ties, where you've got 50 senators who are Republicans and 50 senators who identify as Democrats, 48 Democrats, 2 independents. So any tie vote will be cast by the vice president. That means that the committees will be chaired by Democrats, and there will be an equal number of Republicans and Democrats on each committee. The bottom line is that health policy will continue to move forward. The more controversial aspects of health care policy, like Medicare for all or a public insurance option, are less likely to gain traction. But with a reconciliation approach, meaning all you need is 51 votes in the Senate, and with the reins of the executive branch in Joe Biden's hands, there will be a lot of healthcare policies that move forward over the next 4 years, certainly over the next 2. Among them is orthotic and prosthetic policy, at least with respect to the 2 main bills that NAAOP has been focused on and will continue to advocate for: the O&P Medicare Patient-Centered Care Act and the AAA Study Act. Both of these bills were introduced last year. NAAOP and the Orthotic and Prosthetic Alliance, along with taking the lead, AOPA, on the Patient-Centered Care Act. We support that legislation. We expect it to be reintroduced in the next several weeks. And all of the sponsors from the previous Congress are back in Congress in the 117th. And we expect that bill to be introduced relatively soon. The AAA Study Act, which is a bill that the Amputee Coalition has championed, will also be reintroduced, and that essentially seeks to discover and to research additional demographic data for use in trying to identify the kinds of coverage policies that health plans provide or have with respect to orthotic and prosthetic coverage. So we'll be moving forward and most definitely supporting those bills, and we encourage all of our members to go to our website, and when those bills are introduced, participate in sending messages to your representatives and informing them of the need for them to co-sponsor these bills. Let me also say that there's been some regulatory changes towards the end of the Trump administration. A proposed durable medical equipment, prosthetics, orthotics, and supplies proposed rule was published. It did not go into effect before the administration changed over, and that means that regulation is currently on hold, but eventually we'll find out what the Biden administration wants to do with that. There are some pretty significant changes in the proposed DMEPOS rule, including new policies and procedures for new codes, for new technologies, as well as coverage and payment and benefit category determination processes. Some of the changes are really quite positive. Others we have some concerns about, but we'll be keeping you abreast of those changes as developments occur. There's another regulation that the Veterans Administration put out, finally. In 2017, the VA published a rule on VA prosthetics. One of the main areas they focused on was the ability of a veteran to choose the practitioner that serves their needs best, whether that practitioner is a VA employee or has a contract with the VA to provide orthotic and prosthetic services. You may recall that NAAOP championed the Veterans Injured and Amputee Veterans Bill of Rights for several Congresses. Ultimately, it passed the House, did not pass the Senate. There were some roadblocks by some of the, principally the staff, that just didn't feel that it was a bill that they supported. We're continuing to work on that main issue, the main issue being choice of practitioner. And this new regulation, issued in final form in December, before the Trump administration passed the gavel to the Biden administration, does address veteran choice of practitioner. We still have some concerns with it. It is not a 100% right of a veteran to choose their practitioner, but it certainly is a much better rule in final form than it was in the proposed rule issued back in 2017. It clearly recognizes the role of the veteran in choosing the practitioner who will best meet their needs. Also in that rule is a new definition for prosthetics and orthotics. Those definitions differ somewhat from the Medicare definitions, and we're still parsing through those definitions to find out how that's going to impact coverage of new technologies in this field going forward. And we'll have more to say on that in the future. Finally, let me just add that Maggie Balmer is the incoming, or the president-elect of NAAOP, and she'll take over in January of 2022. She's also the chair of the Alliance Subcommittee on Sexual Harassment. And she and her committee have been working hard on some new developments that NAAOP will be exposing our members to, and making sure that people are well aware of the work of that subcommittee. Look out for Maggie's video, soon to be released by the NAAOP. So with that, let me say thank you for your membership in NAAOP, and we look forward to working hard this year to advance O&P policy. Thanks so much.